Hi, and welcome back to Food Firms and Chefs. On with me today is Bibi Singh, who is the owner of Hoboken Biergarten, and Pablo Torres, who is the culinary director at the restaurant. They are located in Hoboken, New Jersey, and they have a lot to talk about. But first, hi guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. We're excited to be here.
Of course. Now, for my listeners and for, the listeners that are across the globe, let them know a little bit about your history. Chef, I'd love to know your history, and BB, I would love to know yours as well, because I did try to research the two of you, and I know you're an executive consultant, but I, would love to know a little bit more about how you went from there to owning the Hoboken Beer Garden.
No, thank you. So I'll keep mine short because I think the main story is right next to me. Uh, so basically, I am originally from Singapore and I'm in advertising and marketing. And many, many years ago, I want to say about 10 years, I did dabble in the restaurant business. And I was one of the minority owners of Rasa, which had a Michelin one-star chef. And it really taught me so much more about the business and being an entrepreneur. I really loved the idea that I really had to multitask. It was just a business unlike any other. And if you have the wherewithal to understand, as much as it's crazy, but I love food and I love the fact that these things could be concocted and there was so much of magic. And then I fast forward 10 years down the road, there was an opportunity that came up here in Hoboken. There was a gap and I said, why not? Let me just give it a chance. Someone told me, it's hard for women to own bars. I said, well, let's see. And I had the good fortune of meeting Juan Pablo Cristancho Torres, and we hit it off, and we really loved the chemistry. He's like a brother to me, a really, really great guy. And we just went from there, from a dream, and look at where we are today. All right.
Yeah, it's been a long path, and even if it's not enough time,
Uh,
but we reach our goals now, and we have big dreams.
yeah.
I'm from Colombia. I start really early. At 18, I joined in the ships. I was working in Royal Caribbean and then in Disney Cruises for 12 years. I used to live in Argentina, in Brazil, and then I moved here to New York. Here in New York, I work in a couple huge restaurants. And then the opportunity came to come in the beer garden. I sit down with Bibi for a couple minutes and I just told her, where you want to go with this? And she said, the sky is the limit. So I said, okay, let's do it. And here we are.
Yeah. I think, the beauty of life sometimes is ignorance is bliss. When you don't know what you can or cannot achieve, you just go for gold and, you see where you drop off.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah, and on the ships, I have to say, on the cruise ships, you have a microcosm of like every cuisine under the sun. So you definitely have earned your marks for for cooking every different type of cuisine.
and then it's not only about the menus that we handle on the ships because most of the people who was working there is all around the world. So sometimes I found people from Iraq, from China cooking their own food, So I learned the basic, the truly recipes from an Indian curry, a Brazilian stroganoff, a choripan from Argentina, from the real people with the real ingredients. So it
Yeah.
was good. It was like my college, my everything as a chef, as a human being. I met the world. I got paid. So it was fun.
Of course it's fun. Now, I will say that the place that you currently have your location used to be owned by a different person, and I believe it was under the name Pilsener Haus Biergarten, and you guys took it over, and obviously there's been a change of ownership, and I feel like you expanded upon like a on not only the original menu, but like you kind of created your own, and your own vibe and your own environment, and and you extended hours too. So what was it like kind of transitioning it from what it used to be to what it is now?
Yeah, so I think the way I look at it is, both Juan Pablo and myself, we are immigrants. We are not from this country. And we saw in the Hoboken Biergarten a place that was communal, that was familial. And this is where people could come and meet in large groups, but they were coming from all over. So we didn't want to narrow down the narrative to just German food. We liked the concept of the beer garden because it was so communal, but we realized that we needed to evolve it into a gastropub where everyone could find a place here. Everyone could be nourished the way they knew how. So that's why we evolved it into a gastropub. We still pay homage to the German cuisine. We still have a core of that. We still have the beers from Germany. However, we've expanded it, right? Like we have curries because we have a clientele that's largely vegetarian. So we want to make sure we have vegan curries on board.
Yeah.
Telling him ceviche should be on the list as well. Like, so people come here and they are liking it because we always say, we make food from the heart. Like we have the best burgers right now. You can get really great lamb burgers. We just got a review yesterday that this guy said, oh my God, I haven't had a burger so good in the last 10 years, like your bacon jam burger. It's like, so they come back. So it's really a lot of fun when you expand the menu, when
Yeah.
you interact with people through food, and then they connect with you. So we really love that part about this business.
Yeah. And I mean, you touched on a couple of things that I was going to bring up because if you've ever listened to any of my prior shows, you'll easily find out that I love curry. And so when I was scrolling through your menu, I was like,
Yeah.
you have no idea how excited I got when I saw that there was, curry options.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had the lamb burger, I wanted to touch base on too, because that's not a atypical burger that you're going to find at any kind of, gastropub or beer slash, restaurant. Um, so, that kind of made its mark. And then the salmon burger too, for our pescatarian friends.
No, absolutely. And I just want to go on record to say, you will not find better lamb, cheese, salmon burgers than you'll find here. We actually want to put ourselves in some sort of a competition because we are like, you know what? Everybody comes and orders those things from us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so you would say that would be a more those are under your more popular items?
It depends, huh?
It depends. No, it is hard to say because
Yeah.
every week we have a different item that is our most sale item. Like
Yeah.
before when we came here, the most sale item, it was pretzel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But now we
it's
have
simple.
the next week is the salmon burger, then the curry, then the gnocchi, because we add the gnocchi in our menu.
Yeah.
What is amazing is when I came, Bibi and Justin, they told me like we have to use the best ingredients, try to find that like the farm, organic and local producers. So we start to look out for those things.
Yeah.
Because changes may scare the people. The people can think that we are destroying something that it was there, but we just brought it to the next level. And we new food, new flavors, and the people until now the people love it.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing, no?
Yeah, I think, over time, with any business, the Pilsener Haus and Biergarten was here for a very long time. Over time, I think it got a little bit decrepit just because, there was no consistency. And I don't want to diss anybody. However, when we came up, we were like, what would we want? This is our home, right? We want to cook food that, we want to eat, and we want to make sure the ingredients are the best. So I said, if we do it right, people will come. And true enough, people that have not been here for the last 2 to 3 years have decided to come back because the food is so great, the service is good. And, of course, there are trials and errors, right? In any new business or startup, you're also learning. But our whole game plan every single day is to put our best foot forward. And anytime we explore any opportunity to put out a new menu, it just works, Emirates. And I don't know what to do. We're like looking at the numbers. We're like, maybe we can take this off the menu. Next thing we know, someone says, oh, where is this food? I came here just for that. We're like, oh no.
You should.
About 2 weekends ago,
Yeah.
I told them like, why we don't make like the fish tacos? Build your own fish tacos. So
Yeah.
we serve the whole brancino,
Mhm.
saute, and then the sauce and everything. And somebody told me like, we are a beer garden. It's a
Sausage.
German sausage burgers. And I said, let's try.
Yeah.
And the first day we got sold out.
Yeah, we were sold out.
And everybody was talking about that. And I was like, I don't know what else to do. We
Yeah.
tried to do something really nice. Our food is not, it's not like simple, but it's the most time that I spent here, my first 2-3 months, it was teaching the guys with the team.
Okay.
So I said my guys to cook for their families. So
Mhm.
they're cooking with the heart. I know every time that they do a dish, it's like I told them, imagine that you're cooking for mama, for daddy, for the girlfriend. So everybody will come back.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here. Even a fish taco, a guacamole,
Mhm.
sauerkraut, we cook it and the people is feeling it. And it's good for us.
And yeah, and the thing is no matter what, regardless of who you're going with or who you're, meeting for that matter, because when you go to these things, you interact, it's very, encompassing and
Right.
engaging. And it builds bonds, it builds relationships, but it builds connections,
Mhm.
bottom line, which is an amazing thing to be able to provide that and provide that to a whole entire community.
Right.
So, with that said, I know that you have gotten your word out, like people are noticing you. So, you told me before we actually hopped on a little piece of information that I got all excited about
Mhm.
because it is the Grammys of nominations, and even just having a whisper about it means something. So, I really want you to brag.
No, thank you. So we had the good fortune of having some, I don't want to name names, but we are talking about the people behind the Rainbow Room and the Windows on the World that had come here and offered to do a tasting with us. And they walked out and said, there's something about the way you guys are doing this. Would you be open to getting a James Beard Award? You just have to work to us. We're like, oh my God, of course. Are you kidding me? I'll, kiss the floor. You walk out. What else do you want from me? No, but we are aiming towards that right now. I mean, we feel so fortunate and so blessed that we've only been doing this for a short period of time, but we have managed to level up the quality of the food, the variety, and this is next on our list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As it should be. I
Yeah.
mean, I was looking up and I was very impressed with the fact that your menu is extensive. It's beyond what, you would normally find in a gastropub,
Yeah.
and most assuredly beyond what you would find in a like German Austrian kind of
Yeah.
atypical like beer garden, and that's with a BIR
Yeah.
BIER.
So we wanted to have a twist, right, Emirates? So the whole thing is that it is a beer garden, but the twist is it is the Hoboken Biergarten, and it's for the community in Hoboken, and it's like from all over the world. What's stopping us from having the best food ever?
Nothing.
Yeah.
The thing is like you said, Pablo, you had said that like you're creative, you kind of let your staff go home and cook for their families and come back and kind of allowed them to pitch things, pitch ideas, because you want them to like be able to extend,
Yeah.
the menu beyond the atypical. So the fish tacos, build your own fish tacos. I don't know anyone who doesn't love fish tacos.
Right.
I
Yeah.
love it here.
Yeah, exactly. So
And I
cool.
mean, and you can go with vegan ones too, because you could
Right.
yeah, you can make mushroom, based tacos, or I think I saw somebody grill a watermelon at one point in time and have it be like a mock tuna.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
world is your oyster.
It's true. It's true. Like I said, the beer garden is communal. but that's where it stops. I mean, it's like, I always give the example of Barcelona wines. If you go to Barcelona wines, they don't have wines from Barcelona, but the concept is tapas. But the
Yeah.
wines are from all over the world. We are the same, right? So there's nothing to say that we have to stop here. We can always offer up a lot more.
Of course. And
Yeah.
speaking of offering up a lot more, since you are a beer garden, what kind of beverages do you offer?
Oh, wow. We have, first of all, we do pay homage to our German legacy. So we have the top of the top German beers that you cannot find anywhere else, like the Golden Drug, right? Like it comes in this really nice bottle. Like people come here specifically just to drink that. Over and above that, we have started to expand our bar program. So we try to use a lot of the elements from maybe like a German and European base, but then we branch out. So we've got a good cocktail program, and our wines are from all over the world. We've started to stipulate that as well. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess, it's something for everybody. Right.
We have a different frozen cocktail for this summer every week.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really good hit. It got when she brought the idea, because she says that I am the one who bring the ideas, but she was the one who brought the idea to do a frozen cocktail. Everybody was like, nobody will come for a cocktail to a beer garden. And the first day that we did it, we sold 88
Yeah.
cocktails. So it was sold
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
And the people is coming for our espresso martinis, our last week it was a strawberry mintini, something like that. It was
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
So we change weekly.
Yeah.
Can I pitch what, like on air? So it's not
Yes.
really like it's going to be public, but can I pitch you a Neapolitan martini? So
Oh.
it's it's the mole the strawberries. So it gets and then Kahlua, maybe like rim the glass with like a syrup or whatnot, and
Yeah.
then shaker with about like a chocolate liqueur, and because you got the strawberries, you got the chocolate, and what am I forgetting?
Wait.
The vanilla.
Yeah. And then, so the one thing we're missing is, when are you coming here so that I can make it for you?
And
I might be able to come tomorrow, actually, but but
Never.
yeah, I love a good espresso martini too. But
We do. We have, like, we just bought, so being Asian, we just have Haku vodka right now.
okay,
It's the best espresso martinis, in my opinion. So there you have it.
okay. And well, I mean, hey, I look forward to trying that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I want to also touch base on the fact that you guys have, and I have to ask a question, reverse happy hour that you,
Yes.
so explain this.
So we decided that, happy hours are typically 3 to 6,
Yes.
right? And I'm like, dude, like, people are at work. So our colleague, our assistant general manager, Alexa, she's like, yeah, I'm like, how can we do this where we actually honor the people? We want to give them a happy hour, but we want to give them a happy hour that they can come to. It's convenient for them. And so she said, what about a reverse happy hour? So we're like, okay, that's great. So our happy hour starts at 8 o'clock. And it's now Mondays to Thursdays, so 8 to close. So if you really want to go grab a drink after dinner, come here.
Hey, and I don't know anybody who wouldn't be excited about something like that, because happy hours always happen when, as you had said, you're at work, you're busy, you're running around, still doing stuff. You want to go home, change, relax a little bit, and then go out. So that's perfect.
Right. Exactly. Right. So
yeah. And you're also dog friendly as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's after my heart. I really love those creatures, and we have had a couple of adoption drives here already where we've had more than 8 to 10 dogs being adopted at any single event, and we are so happy. It just warms our hearts. So we've opened up the patio. It's very dog friendly. We have happy hours on Thursdays, and we're trying to figure out like a bone broth, like a dog beer, but it's like bone broth, right? Like beef and chicken.
That's safe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's organic, it's for the dogs, and then we've got toys for them. I mean, come on, life is so short, and these creatures actually help us so much, and reduce our stress levels. So Yes.
Yeah, and they in like little pup cups.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly, right? So there's that.
Yeah, that's perfect. And speaking of yappy hour and happy hour, what are some because you guys offer more than just a venue for individuals to go and hang out and have,
Yeah,
a good meal with, friends and their little furry best friend.
right. Yeah. So
So,
we have a lot of stuff. Like, for example, is Oktoberfest is coming up. So September 20th onwards, we will have a full swing Oktoberfest. We'll have polka music, we'll have like Stein competitions, we'll have the keg tapping, and then Halloween is coming up. So of course we'll have a pet Halloween as well. So we are taking all of this into stride. Like we're doing things together. So there are other activities. We've got live music on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, which is very popular. So it's like, it's nice. It's not just a place to come and eat and be communal. It's also a place to really enjoy. And
yeah.
then with the games, we have 13 screens. So of course we're, showing the games, anyone that wants to come. I started with rugby because I'm not from here, and people just show up and say, oh, can we bring a whole, contingent of people to come and watch the rugby game? And so, we do all of that stuff.
Yeah, and football. I don't
Yes. Oh my God. Don't get us started.
not football
Somebody's
Americano.
Yes, yes. Copa America, someone is Colombian, so I had to wear the Colombian jersey. But what you gonna do?
Yeah, we have here the soccer program, the football, and baseball.
Yeah,
We have the good games, every game, the UFC fights now, the
Yeah.
boxing also on Saturdays.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's been good.
yeah.
The good thing with the when we start, we realize what we have, and we have a big space. So some of the places where you go, they are really packed and you cannot see it or you cannot feel good. The space is too limited. Here, the space is good. The tables are big, and those things give us the plus. So when the people come, they don't come in a group of 4 or 5. They come 20, 25 people in
Mhm.
one table. They
Yeah.
enjoy, they have a great time. The beer is cold, the food is good. And it's been a challenge, but it's been good.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel proud where we get
Yeah.
right now.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And you guys offer like different events throughout, like not just the Oktoberfest and the Halloween party, but you guys offer like a trivia night and
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. So like, Mondays we have like the half off specials. Tuesdays we have trivia nights. Wednesdays we have the live music together with Thursdays. So we have an happy hour as well. So every day there's something going on. So as we are starting to get to know our clients and our patrons that are coming through the door, if they tell us, hey, Bibi, you know what, I was thinking of this, I'm like, sure, why not? Let's do it,
yeah.
because it is a community. If someone wants something and we can offer it up, it just warms our hearts to be able to do that. It's not just a business for us.
Yeah. And I know you also have, because you're actually streaming from it from your upstairs event space. So talk a little bit about how people can have private parties and host, gatherings, maybe corporate events, who knows?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a really interesting niche here. This space holds about 220 to 250 people. And there is a gap in the Hoboken community right now for like a music venue of this size. So we thought that we would have this as a music venue / events. So
Mhm.
you can have corporate events, bat mitzvahs have taken place, weddings, engagement parties. We had a beautiful birthday party for 65 people the other day. They're like, no, we just love the space. We just want to have a dance party. I'm like, sure, why not? So we've
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff going on. We're open. We're not those people that are going to say, no, you only can do this and nothing else. I think
Yeah.
because we are learning as well. And our end game is for someone to come in here and have the most memorable time, whether it's through food, whether it's through experience. So we just want that to happen. And when that happens, we feel that we've won.
Of course. Now,
Yeah.
Chef, this one's specifically to you because with events and, private gatherings and whatnot, do you sit down with the person that is paying to host you or have you host them to create a menu around whatever theme or whatever they would like?
Yeah, so we have a menu. We set up a menu already that we give as an option for the person. But, most of the people, they want to do some changes. We are open to that. And we offer also some like oh, but we have 20 people and they are vegan and vegetarian, so I offer something special, like our vegan lasagna, or special treatment for them, and they love it. It's
Yeah.
not our menu or not menu. No,
Yeah.
we need to talk to them, and once I get the idea from them what they're looking for and with the food, we can make it happen.
Yeah, like someone wants spring rolls and empanadas. We did that too. It's not
Yeah.
in our menu, but we did that.
Samosas, we make one
Yeah.
time. You can imagine we're making samosas. We were doing samosas,
Yeah.
coconut shrimp with the piña colada sauce. It
Yeah.
is something that it was not in the menu, but she was like, "Oh, I want to make it so special, but can we make something with piña colada?" And I was like, "What about coconut shrimps and piña colada salsa?" And she was like, "Okay, amazing, amazing." And they
Yeah.
love it,
Yeah.
but we do
Yeah.
it for them,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
I said, we're not here just to make money or to make a business succeed. We are here also because we know if we treat the people nice and we make something really
Yeah.
nice for them, they will come back.
Right.
Of course. And just so you know, if you put anything that's curry in front of me and I finish eating the actual item, do not judge me when you see me like holding the dish up and
Well, please do come here and we'll make sure that we have that for you.
I've literally been caught by like an owner one time because I was like, this is just too good. And so I was like,
That's
was-
awesome.
it was rather embarrassing, but awesome for you guys because that's a huge compliment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When I'm in the kitchen and I start to see the plates coming back from the dining room, it's empty. I'm so happy. I say, wow, this is great.
Yeah. Now, just out of curiosity, because you guys are so extensive on your menu, have you ever thought to do like a tasting event?
Yes, we actually did. So when we started to open for lunch, we did a lunch tasting event. And now that we are starting to assess the menu and see what we want to retrofit, we are definitely going to do another tasting. And I think it's important for us to evolve, right? I mean, there are different seasons, so the tastings will come based on the seasons as well, because, we only want the fresh ingredients and therefore we are season based. And that's also, what you call this relevant with our cocktails and our
Mhm.
wines as well. So yeah, so there's a lot of tastings. We actually want to do a cognac trail instead of your bourbon or whiskey because it's the season and we want to make sure that that's going to be a tasting as well. We want to make sure that people learn how to pair all of these things with the upcoming events. So a lot of those kind of things are happening as well.
That's nice. And like what would be really fun because of how large your space is and how how you can engage with the people that are coming in. It'd be a
Right.
lot of fun to have like an event where, people like got gathered around and learned
Yes.
about, the different and that kind of coincides with the tastings too.
Right. Exactly.
So, um, I extended your interview, whether or not you're aware of this or not, but I had extended your interview because you guys are so, bright and cheery and I just enjoyed speaking with you. So, on that particular note, let our listeners know moving forward if you have anything in the immediate sense to look forward to as far as events are concerned, and then where to find you online and in person.
Absolutely. So the most immediate is Oktoberfest. It is for 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So people can come here and enjoy themselves with all the different types of beers that we have. We also have beer flights and what have you not. You can find us online, the Hoboken Biergarten.com.
And for our listeners, that's BIER
G-A-
Yeah.
Yeah, Garten, Garten.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So please
So
come.
yeah. And I hope, and as I said, I look forward to running in there and meeting you guys both, tasting some of those curry dishes.
Yes, absolutely. You just tell us when you're coming, and your Neapolitan martini is going to be there too. You just tell me when.
I'll probably need it too.
All right, brilliant.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me on Food Farms and Chefs.
Thank you so much,
much.
Amaris. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
And we'll be right back after this short break.
All right.
Hi, and welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. And on with me today is Nick Hancock, who is the owner and the pit master behind OK Charlie's. So, Nick, welcome to Food Farms and Chefs.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate you joining me and talking about all things, we'll say barbecue. But let our listeners know a little about yourself because I read up a little bit, but I like hearing, from you yourself your history and, growing up, your family, how it's all tied into what you're doing now.
Yeah, totally. No, so growing up, always really from the time I was a little baby, we were always in restaurants. Just my parents didn't really alter their lifestyle after they had me. They just started bringing me along. So spent a ton of time in restaurants and in bars and places where like little kids probably usually didn't get to hang out. Always really enjoyed the industry. Worked in a couple restaurants and some very early kind of younger years, kind of worked like as a busser and worked at a pizza place and just kind of did odd tasks and stuff and worked the register. So did some stuff like that. um, Always really enjoyed the speed of service, like the pace of that sort of work. And then kind of as I got a little older, really started to enjoy cooking. I think just kind of getting like a foundation, really enjoying like the idea of sharing food and drink, kind of being like that that's kind of, those are my favorite experiences. So I think it really comes out of that. My dad barbecued a lot, grilled a lot. He still does. So definitely kind of caught the bug there. And enjoyed any chance I got to kind of cook for friends. I did a lot of cooking at tailgates and parties and things like that. So I would say probably not a cool traditional culinary school or any kind of real experience, right? Just very passionate about it and enjoyed cooking outside.
Well, based on what you have like for your history online, it's equally as important to get hands-on experience, which you had written in your synopsis and your descriptions that you went to anywhere and everywhere to study different styles to learn from different pit masters. And honestly, I think hands-on experience is key in learning how to cook. You can't learn how to cook from just reading a book. I'm sure there's some genius out there that would argue the opposite, but for most individuals who are learning how to cook, it's trial and error and seeing how everybody else, does it, finding your own niche and finding what you love the most and your style. So, given that particular thing, like, I'm sure you went and studied up different styles of, barbecuing and smoking and different flavors and profiles and, what worked best to make the meat more juicy and succulent. So what was that process like?
Yeah, no, totally. And really, I definitely went around and tried some different barbecue for a few years there until I kind of landed on Texas style, and then I stopped because that was just to me, and to a lot of folks I've talked to, is just kind of, I mean, I won't say we don't need to get into best or anything like that. It is, but we don't need to get into that. More so just my preference, right? I just love the style. I love the simplicity of it. It kind of reminds me of how my like Italian grandmother cooked, right? It's like the same simple kind of spice flavor profile on most things, but just getting the most out of it, right? So
Yeah.
I just kind of fell in love with that style. I went down to Austin and took a class with Leroy and Lewis, who are some of the best. They're definitely my favorite folks in the business. But Top 5 Texas Monthly, like just fantastic place, really creative, amazing food. And took a class there for a weekend, had an amazing time, made some great connections. And then I've actually traveled around a bit to help them at different events that they do, like Windy City Smokeout last year in Chicago, um, Holy Smokes in South Carolina this past November. So kind of traveled and kind of met up with them to just kind of be part of the crew and just soak up whatever I could learn. So yeah, definitely done a little bit of traveling and just studying, by working alongside some folks that know a lot more about this stuff than I do. So
I was gonna say, like, there's several, different competitions throughout the country that happen. So, and I know, all the big names kind of go can converge on these things. And, you'll get different purveyors where the Big Green Egg will, sponsor it, or what is it? Tabor? No. But you get the idea, like
yeah,
different sponsorships. And if you kind of make a name for yourself at these events, you're gonna one day be brought into that competition to to headline it too,
yeah,
because people love smoked meats, smoked veggies, like, because it's not just smoking the meats. Yes, that is like your main, like, golden goose is basically the meat. But for anybody who goes to a barbecue, there's always the sides too. And hey, you know what? Why not smoke something that's a vegetable or a side of some sort? Like, my family, we have a get together in Vermont every single year. And everything kind of gets smoked. So there was, and not to like pull away from what you do, but they do a smoked mac and cheese
oh
that
yeah,
is just, I mean, if you don't get in line and get some, you like, if you're at the back of the line, you're not gonna get any.
oh man, yeah. No, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's so good. So I mean, I saw that you have mac and cheese as one of your sides too. So by all means, steal that idea.
No, that's cool. Yeah, my dad has done that a couple of times. Yeah, that's such a good good recipe for
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure
No.
I'm sure your family recipe is better than his. He kind of threw it together once or twice, but yeah, I'd be in that line for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the mac and cheese is actually not even my recipe. It's one of some, by way of my mother's side, it's weird, but by way of my mother's side, I'm related to the person that makes the mac and cheese, and like that's where that came from. But the
Oh,
pig roast itself, like the injection of the pig, that stemmed from like my creation. So like this gigantic, who knows how many pounds at this point, pig that we roast every single year gets injected with and rubbed with a concoction that I came up with.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, and being that I said that too, what you use to smoke the meat matters. And I know that you said that you use oak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, across the board, is that your staple, or do you ever switch it up?
No, we just do the oak, right? I think when you think Texas barbecue, I should say, Central Texas barbecue, because other areas of Texas they use a lot of mesquite and stuff, but in Central Texas they use post oak, right? Uh, while like if you look it up on Wikipedia and stuff, because I've tried to source it here, but it's just post oak does grow up in New Jersey, but it's just not prevalent.
Hmm.
Um, Certainly not common enough to like rely on it as a fuel source. So so we use just white oak that's local to here, um, because I think naturally seasoned wood is better than kiln dried wood. Just my preference of what to cook with. So ordering stuff from far away that's ultimately going to be kiln dried probably isn't cost effective, and I don't think yields quite as good of a product. So we've subbed the white oak for post oak. I know some folks that will use combinations of white and red because they feel like that gets a little closer. We've just been using the white because that's what we've been able to find a good, reliable, local, naturally seasoned source for. So yeah, actually just got a big pile of it dumped that I have to stack. Yeah, so we use all white oak. It's enough to let you know it's there, but it's neutral. And it doesn't get overbearing on a
With
long
the
cook.
flavor. Okay.
You know, some
Yeah.
things like mesquite, like if you're not cooking fast with mesquite, I mean, it's gonna be very intense.
Very, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So oak is, I feel like, a little bit more kind of middle of the road. It's certainly smoky, right? But it doesn't like stack up and get to where you feel like you need to cough. So yeah.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We don't want anybody coughing.
Yeah, at all. And I saw like you definitely like, because certain meats will come out not so juicy if you don't take care and heed their need to, we'll say, brine, which I saw that you definitely brine your chicken because that'll dry out way too fast. So I like the fact that you incorporate that too, to make sure that you're, after everything's said and done and cooked, it's nice and juicy and tender.
Yeah. We've anytime we do poultry, we brine it for sure. Yeah, we've done turkeys. Around Thanksgiving time, we do like turkey packages. We always brine that. We also do pastrami brine a fair bit.
Okay.
So we do pastrami briskets, pastrami pork belly. We've done that kind of stuff a few times. But yeah, for sure, brining chicken and turkey, just because, especially the way we do service, right? We're doing farmers markets in the morning. We got to transport the food to the market because we can't always have our smoker there. So
Yeah.
we're not pulling chicken off a grill and serving it. It's gotta hold up for a little bit, and not get dry. So
Yeah.
yeah, the brine really helps for that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it keeps it nice and tender. I in the past, for Thanksgiving, since we mentioned that, I've definitely wet brined the turkey and
Yeah.
created the brine from scratch. I kind of Googled like, well, how do you make it? And then I was like, but that's basic. And I'm like, I'm not basic. So I took like the basic brine recipe and I was just like, and let's make it tastier by adding all of these things to it too.
That's
Um,
awesome.
because I'm extra, but but okay, so I don't want to pull away from your discussion at all, because you do the farmers market pop-ups, and how, actually, let's step back a bit. And how did you even start getting into the farmers market niche?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I guess I had my smoker ordered in this business. I mean, I cook on an offset, right? Texas style barbecue. Uh, these commercial size smokers, if you're ever trying to order one, it takes a while. If anybody listening wants one, order it now and be prepared to get it in a year or whatever. Hopefully it's gotten a little better, but when I got mine, it felt like it was at its peak of just like taking a long time. So, and all the builders seem to be on the same sort of delays.
Mm,
So basically, we had it planned for a long time. During that time, I was going to Texas and traveling around and trying to learn stuff, and kind of formulating what the idea of the business was going to be. My wife was pregnant, and we would go a lot of time. I don't know why that detail is relevant. Actually, it's not. But she was when we would walk around the farmers market. So if it just
listen, it matters because that's your child too.
right, yeah, and it's also why we probably weren't walking around the farmers market for too long. We were getting out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
But we would walk the farmers market in Haddonfield, New Jersey, and just hang out and grab a little produce. And it was just such a like beautiful little. It's in Kings Court off of Kings Highway, just really nice little courtyard. Um, and I noticed, there's like food options here and there, but there's not a ton of food vendors at a farmer's market. So that was part of what made me think of it. And then just being a nice vibe, nice town. We always loved Haddonfield. So I just happened to reach out. I just shot an email to the organizer, who's turned out to be a really great uh, friend, and also just like advisor a little bit on the business. He was very helpful in us kind of getting going. Ralph from the Haddonfield Farmers Market. But yeah, we just got started there last year, and they accepted our application, and we set up, and it was a mess. We had no idea what we were doing the first time. It was pouring rain. We were
Oh
like
no.
an hour late. We were like just trying to do everything. We've all the stuff that you think is going to be quick is not. And yeah, it was a big learning experience, the first one. But they were patient with us, and we've had a really nice time there ever since. And then this year we started doing the Haddon Heights Farmers Market on Sundays as well. So now we're Saturdays and Sundays on farmers markets. So
Which is good.
yeah, they're nice, and not exactly peak barbecue hours. We're out there at 8:30 in the morning, getting started, and we're done at 1. But we realized that we have a lot of folks that want to pick it up in the morning for later that day or for a party, right? It's really good for that sort of thing, like
Yeah.
for pickups, for small catering, basically, and things like that.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I saw that you have coming up, you're going to be at the station too.
Yes. Sipping on Station, Haddon Heights. Yeah, that's an exciting one. We were not able to do that one last year, but we've done a lot of other events that they put on down there. Heights in Progress basically puts on these awesome events in Haddon Heights, and a lot of people come. They close down Station Ave,
Hmm.
and it's just really cool. A lot of vendors, a lot of food trucks, breweries, music. They set up a stage for Rhythm and Brews. At least I think they're going to do the same for Sipping on Station. This will be our first time there, but yeah, really cool event. Excited and looking forward to that. That'll be a double header. We'll do Haddonfield in the morning, and then we'll get everything into the 2 SUVs that we use and drive it down the road and set it back up. So
Yeah. Are you mentally and emotionally and physically getting yourself ready for that? Because that's coming
yeah,
soon.
no, it is. And we did it for Rhythm and Brews. It was the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Joe, who organizes those, is great. He's aware that we're at Haddonfield in the morning, so it's like, hey, we're gonna be zipping in here and throwing it up real fast. We'll be good. We'll be ready to go by showtime. But we're coming from the other event, so they're very accommodating. But yeah, no, we're excited for that one. That's a cool September 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we're talking about it so much, we probably should plug the date.
Totally. Yeah. It's that one's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great beer there. And Haddon Heights is just such a cool little town.
It really is. It's very walkable too. There's tons of like little shopping, like mom and pop shops that are along the way. So, if you're gonna attend and enjoy the day, you might as well take the whole family and go see what else is available to shop at too.
100%. Yeah. We love Heights. It's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's such a cute area. But of course, the star of the show is going to be the barbecue.
I hope so. There's a lot of good food. But yeah, hopefully some folks are happy with what they have there.
Yeah. And now I want to kind of jump into the actual menu itself and mention the fact that you also offer catering. And because we're getting into football season, you offer packages too. So let's jump into some of the menu offerings, and we'll go over a little bit of the packages and catering.
Yeah, for sure. No. So as far as the menu, we try to, I guess my vision for it was just to be as close to a Texas barbecue restaurant as we could, on a tabletop and tent setup. So we keep it a little, I think, more streamlined and probably a little tighter than a full restaurant would. We typically offer like our main 3 staple meats, which for us are brisket, prime brisket, pulled pork and pork spare ribs. We will frequently run pork belly specials because we get these beautiful Duroc pork bellies from Lafrida, who's our meat distributor. And we'll do different things with those, whether we cure them or just smoke them. And, you know, like we did like a glaze with Wild Feather Bourbon a couple weeks ago, which is a distillery in Haddonfield, and just did like a glazed pork belly special. So we'll do stuff like that from time to time. Or like jerk chicken, things like that. But the three that we'll always have is brisket, pork, and ribs,
Yep.
pork spare ribs. So
And what sides will you, because you offer several sides. So are there like streamlined sides that you bring per, per farmer's market pop up, or do you offer like the full venue of it?
yeah, so we have 4 that we will always have. And then we have like an honorary 5th one that's kind of just taken off and kind of held on for a little bit that we'll probably reevaluate as we go into the fall. But the 4 primary sides are our slaw, our chili crisp slaw, which sounds spicier than it is. It's really that's the most frequent question that we get. It's just a little bit of that chili crisp condiment flavor that you get. It's really not spicy, but that's that and the potato salad, which is those are probably my 2 favorites. And then we also have our mac and cheese and our smoked cannellini beans. So it's like a baked bean, but they're cooked on the smoker. There's no meat in them actually, which
That's
is
important to any vegetarians that are out there, because they're like, but I want protein and eat something, and that's perfect, because keep the meat out, and then it's safe for any vegans that are out there.
yeah. And I wouldn't be vegan just because of the Worcestershire sauce, but
Oh, okay.
at least there's no, we're not actively adding any pork to it or anything like that. So, but yeah. So that's a good vegetarian option, as long as you're okay with the Worcestershire being in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the one that we've kind of been running that it's going to be a little tough to get away from because we have a lot of people that like it is just a simple cucumber and tomato salad.
Okay.
It was really good for us when it was hot. We'll probably come up with something else to do in the autumn season for the
Off,
fest.
yeah, off camera, I have a suggestion for you. That's what this face was.
I thought you were cooking up something there. All right, cool. Awesome. No, I
So,
appreciate it.
yeah, of course. Hey, listen, I appreciate food. So, like, given that you kind of did a quick rundown of what you have, I know that there's more too, more options. So people can, find you online and find out what they are. But you offer, because we're getting into football season. So, make life easier, make it make sense and make life easier, and order catering, so that you don't have to worry about the cooking part. You can just enjoy the game. So what kind of packages do you offer?
Yeah, so we just put together some football packages on our pre-order site. That easiest way to get to that is through our Instagram bio, probably your Facebook bio. But yeah, we just put together some essentially like some packages for different size crews, or just if you're me, you could probably just get one and eat it. But yeah, so like packages that have some brisket, some ribs, some pork, basically a kind of like if you just want to try everything with a little group of people or a large group of people, we kind of have a few different size options. And then obviously on that same pre-order site you can order any of the stuff as normal if there's something a la carte that you want to add or something along those lines. But yeah, just wanted to kind of put together a few configurations that offered a slight value, a little bit of a value to our just regular pricing, for folks that wanted to get sort of a bundle deal basically for football season.
Which is a good thing. And I would like to mention the fact that you offer individual sizes packages too, so that if you go there or if you go to the farmer's market and you want something, and I don't know if you need to order that ahead or not, but I do know that you have a couple of options for prepackaged meals.
Totally. Yeah, no, I mean, all of it is available walk up as well. You know, we sell meats down to quarter pound and up to as much as folks would like. So yeah, you can walk up and just get a little quick plate, a quick fold over with, you know, little brisket on bread with some of our house pickles, pickled onions and sauce, or up to, you know, a full party's worth. So yeah,
Yeah.
something for everybody.
Yeah. And I was like, I love the fact that you have as an option, and I think it was like at $75 or something, 72, somewhere around there. The like a little bit of everything, which
Yeah.
is how I would roll.
Yep.
Because
The full spread. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not that I would be able to eat the whole thing, but I definitely would be like, okay, that, you know, bite of this, a bite of that, and like just to try everything. Because then you have leftovers and you get to eat it again and
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So
No, that's been a popular thing since we added that. We definitely will do a few of those each time we set up. So yeah, folks like to get the sample. That's what I would do too. I mean, you know, it's like I want to try it all, and if there's an easy way to try it all, I'm just going to go for that. Right. I've been to a
right.
lot of places where I'm like, how do I try it all? And I can't find an option for that. So I wanted to make sure we had that.
Yeah. And I appreciate it too, because only one time have my friends and I ordered the entirety of a menu at a restaurant, but we did it. So it's not unheard of. Like, we usually warn people, like when I go out eating with my fellow foodies, we're like, we need a big table. They're like, how about this, where it's just like a small table? And we're like, no, you don't understand. You don't know what's about to happen. So I like that you have that option.
That's
Yeah, so for my listeners, since before we keep talking some more, where can they find you online and in person?
Yeah, so online, Instagram and Facebook, I'd say we're probably equally active. We have our Instagram at OK Charlie's EYS Charlie EYS. Facebook, same thing. We post a lot in South Jersey food scene, which is and also the Mid Atlantic food scene group.
Okay.
That so we're pretty active there. We do have a website. I try to keep it up to date, but you know, I'm all over the place, so it's not always up to date. But then also on Hot Plate, that's our platform for pre-ordering. So hotplate.com/okcharlies. And in person, Haddonfield Farmers Market every Saturday, 8:30 to 1, and Haddon Heights Farmers Market every Sunday from 10 to 1. On our events page, we do have a lot of other stuff that goes on, right? Like Sipping on Station, we talked about. We pop up outside of breweries and stuff as we get opportunities to do so. So but the place you can always count on us being is those two farmers markets.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Nick, thank you so much for joining me on Food Farms and Chefs.
Amaris, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. I really appreciate it. I would definitely keep talking. I feel like we could talk about some secret family recipes of mac and cheese and stuff like that. But no, I really appreciate you having me.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you joining me. So on that note, I will, I will end your segment, and I look forward to seeing you in person at some point.
Yeah, would love to have you. Let me know if you're planning on coming out.
All right. Nick, thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. And we will be right back after this short break.